What's going on? Oh my god. What's going on? What just happened? What's going on? Oh my god!
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and the families and friends of all those affected. It is now beyond doubt that the people of Manchester and of this country have fallen victim to a callous terrorist attack, an attack that targeted some of the youngest people in our society with cold calculation. This was among the worst terrorist incidents we have ever experienced in the United Kingdom.
I extend my deepest condolences to those so terribly injured in this terrorist attack, and to the many killed and the families, so many families, of the victims. We stand in absolute solidarity with the people of the United Kingdom. So many young, beautiful, innocent people living and enjoying their lives murdered by evil losers in life. I won't call them monsters because they would like that term. They would think that's a great name. I will call them from now on losers because that's what they are. They're losers. And we'll have more of them. But they're losers. Just remember that. This is what I've spent these last few days talking about during my trip overseas. Our society can have no tolerance for this continuation of bloodshed. We cannot stand a moment longer for the slaughter of innocent people.
Welcome to the
We are currently treating this as a terrorist incident until we have further information. We are working closely with National Counter-Terrorism Policing Network and UK intelligence partners. This is clearly a very concerning time for everyone. We're doing all that we can working with local and national agencies to support those affected as we gather information about what happened last night.
It is hard to believe what has happened here in the last few hours and to put into words the shock, anger and hurt that we feel today. These were children, young people and their families that those responsible chose to terrorise and kill. This was an evil act. Our first thoughts are with the families of those killed and injured, and we will do whatever we can to support them. We are grieving today, but we are strong. Today it will be business as usual as far as possible in our great city.
The public should remain alert but not alarmed, and if they have anything to report, they should approach the police. But I have two further things to add. The great city of Manchester has been affected by terrorism before. Its spirit was not bowed, its community continued. This time it has been a particular attack on the most vulnerable in our society. Its intention was to sow fear, its intention is to divide, but it will not succeed.
No!
I'm terribly sorry and terribly sad for you. There can be nothing worse than losing a child in a situation like this. We have to put our arms around them and support them, not just today, but in all the very difficult days to come, because trauma like this doesn't go in a day or two. It's there with them for the rest of their lives. We have to give them all the support we possibly can, and also make sure we live in a safe environment in the future, and we live in safety together. But we do not allow our communities to be divided by this kind of appalling, atrocious act of violence.
Manchester lockdown, 2 more terror threats after 22 die, 59 injured at Ariana Grande gig. Manchester is on lockdown with armed police patrolling the city centre after a suicide bomber killed 22 people and injured 59 at an Ariana Grande pop concert at Manchester Arena amid fears Britain's terror threat could reach a critical level. 22 people, including children, have been killed and around 59 injured, Greater Manchester Police. Officers rushed to Manchester Arena following reports of an explosion in the foyer area at 10:33 p.m. on Monday evening. U.S. singer Ariana Grande had just finished her performance when the explosion occurred. She said she was left broken by the news. Witnesses claim people were trampled as concertgoers tried to flee the stadium. Police believe attack was carried out by one man, who died at the scene after detonating a bomb. General election campaigning has been suspended until further notice, with Theresa May holding emergency COBRA meetings today. Travel updates here, and people worried about loved ones are being urged to call 01618569400. World reacts as Putin, EU, and White House stand united with UK. First victim of the suicide bombing has been named as 18-year-old Georgina Calendar. Greater Manchester Police continue to tell people to avoid Manchester city centre. Theresa May confirms terror threat remains severe, but the threat level will continue to be monitored. Manchester's Andale Centre evacuated hours after attack as forensic officers continue to search area. Police make arrests across Greater Manchester in connection with suicide bombing. 23-year-old man arrested in South Manchester. Last night a suicide bomber detonated an improvised explosive device outside an Ariana Grande concert. Police are treating the bombing as a terrorist incident, with Prime Minister Theresa May warning the terror threat remains at severe, meaning a terror attack is likely. The area surrounding Manchester Arena and Victoria train station are shut down as forensics officers investigate. Elsewhere in the city, police evacuated the Andale Centre following reports of a suspicious bag being found and glass being smashed. Dramatic video footage shows the moment armed police arrested and escorted a man out of the centre in the heart of the city. The Royal Exchange Arcade has also been evacuated, while Selfridges, House of Fraser and Debenhams have closed their doors. Security has also been stepped up at the Trafford Centre with armed police on patrol. Police forces across the country have announced plans to review security measures and have urged the public to report any suspicious activity. Greater Manchester Police have confirmed that 22 people have been killed and more than 50 injured in the Manchester terror attack. Many of the injured are in a life-threatening condition following the explosion, which happened just after 10:30 p.m. last night. The attack left thousands of people fleeing in terror and left carnage inside the venue, with one witness claiming bodies were everywhere. The Prime Minister said the attack stood out for its appalling, sickening cowardice, as she warned police and security services think the attack was carried out by one man and will investigate if he was part of a wider group. She added, "The threat level remains at severe. That means a terrorist attack remains highly likely. The Independent Joint Terror Analysis Center will continue to assess this throughout today and in the days ahead." She said, "It is now beyond doubt that the people of Manchester and Britain have fallen victim to a callous terrorist attack, an attack that targeted some of the youngest people in society with cold calculation." She added the authorities are not ready to announce the identity of the attacker, who died in the blast, killing 22 people. The PM hailed those who rushed to help, who had shown the spirit of Britain, a spirit that through years of conflict and terrorism has never been broken and will never be broken. A defiant Mrs. May vowed, "The terrorists will never win and our values, our country, and our way of life will always prevail." The bombing, which is being treated as a terror attack, is the worst to hit Britain since the July 7, 2005 suicide bomb attacks in central London, in which 52 people were killed. The Manchester blast came 4 years to the day since Lee Rigby was murdered by Islamic extremists in Woolwich. The area around the stadium remains in lockdown as authorities continue with their investigations. A series of raids are understood to be taking place across Manchester, with police arresting a 23-year-old man in South Manchester in connection with the bombing. Greater Manchester Police said, with regards to the ongoing investigation into last night's horrific attack at the Manchester Arena, "We can confirm we have arrested a 23-year-old man in South Manchester." Ian Hopkins, Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police, said authorities believe the attack was conducted by one man using an improvised device, who died at the Manchester Arena. Police are now trying to determine whether he was working as part of a larger terror cell. Chief Constable Ian Hopkins said, "This has been the most horrific incident we have had to face in Greater Manchester, and one that we all hoped we would never see. Families and many young people were out to enjoy a concert at the Manchester Arena and have lost their lives. Our thoughts are with those 22 victims that we now know have died, the 59 people who have been injured and their loved ones. We continue to do all we can to support them." The first victim of the suicide bombing has been named as teenager Georgina Calendar. Friends said the 18-year-old, who had met Ariana Grande 2 years ago, was one of the first people taken to hospital after the explosion. A close friend said Georgina died in hospital with her mother at her bedside. Georgina was a student at Runshaw Sixth Form Centre in Leland, Lancashire. In a statement, the college said pupils are being offered counselling as it paid tribute to Georgina. Runshaw Sixth Form Centre said, "It is with enormous sadness that it appears that one of the people who lost their lives in Monday's Manchester attack was one of our students here at Runshaw College. Georgina Calendar was a former Bishop Ross Torna pupil studying with us on the second year of her health and social care course. Our deepest sympathies, thoughts, and prayers go out to all of Georgina's friends, family, and all of those affected by this loss. We are offering all available support possible at this tragic time, including counseling with our dedicated student support team." A vigil will be held for the victims at Albert Square, Manchester at 6 p.m. tonight. Queues have formed outside the Blood Donor Centre in Manchester this morning. Mr. Hopkins said a fast-moving investigation had established the attack was conducted by one man, although detectives are working to establish if he was acting alone or as part of a network. The attacker, I can confirm, died at the arena. We believe the attacker was carrying an improvised explosive device which he detonated, causing this atrocity. Local hotels took in panicked youngsters and taxi drivers offered free lifts to concertgoers attempting to get home. Police from neighbouring Force Merseyside have travelled to Manchester to help the investigation. Across the country, police forces have warned there will be extra patrols. Manchester Arena bombing carried out by suicide bomber with IED.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.